Welcome to Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, a.k.a. Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
And this is episode 267 of our podcast. How are you? You look perturbed. Are you perturbed?
No, just distracted.
By what?
Our Trello notes. Sorry, no, it is podcast related. I'm not being apathetic to. Hi, everybody. My name's Tyler, and I'm super bored to be here. No, there was just an issue with Trello, and listeners, that's where we keep our notes. Hey, Just. Hey, welcome to our episode.
Welcome to our episode.
7 or 8?
267 even. 267.
Really? Extra 100. Did you just add that extra 100 for fun?
Yeah, why not? Just get our numbers up there. Big shout out to our patrons. Thanks everybody who resubbed up this week. We love your faces. Patreon gets you access to After Dark. It's our podcast after the podcast, where right now we are going through the TV series Dark. And we are almost finished the first season. But also we talk about Path of Exile stuff too, and you never know what you're going to get. But right now we're chatting about Dark. It's been fun. This was really cool. I'm glad you added this as a note because I would have forgot. Talon brought up last week in our Discord, which huge thank you to you, that this episode is for our total combined 499th episode, and After Dark will be our 500th. When you combine all of the ones we've done for our main show plus the After Dark show, 500 this weekend. That's crazy. Right?
That's a lot of counting for Talon. 1, 2, 3,
so
4,
much
5, 6. That probably took all weekend.
I know.
No, but thanks Talon for pointing that out. We really appreciate it. And for all of our listeners, everybody, whether you've been listening to us since the beginning, you're crazy, but we love you. Whether you just started or whether you're one of those in-betweeners that's relatively new, but you went back to episode 1 as your first episode or not, whatever. We just really appreciate it. It's really awesome that it's lasted this long, and we can't thank you enough.
Really cool. Thank you so much. And that's, well done to you and I, Ty. 499 and 500. That's cool. I like that total number. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty neat. We should retire our numbers, put it in the rafters.
After Dark, this is it. We just go out on top. We hit 500. Or do you just mean
right? We don't even get to the series finale of the show we're watching.
We're just done. Is Discord being stupid for you, or is it just for me? You're delayed for me. No,
it's just your GBs, man. Just your GBs.
It's so weird because there's no delay from me seeing myself in the camera, but there's a delay for me seeing you speaking, and it drives me crazy. Sometimes it catches up as our episode goes on. I don't really know what it's. There's no way that this fixes it.
See, it's magic, man. It's magic.
It's working better. Maybe it was the dog cam. Maybe it was the start of the dog cam. I had a sweet shot of Tyler's dog when we first got started.
Yeah. Me and my dog cam, Justin. Me and my dog cam.
When you first joined up into Discord, all I could hear was the of like your dog scratching, and I didn't have the camera up at the moment, or our chat up because I was working, but I was like, what the heck? Like, is his mic like right by the dog? And then I open it up and there's Riley right in my face.
Yeah.
Anyway, how are you? How was your week?
She's happy to be a part. Oh, good. Am
I making a note here just in case? Action.
I like how you have to mix and cut all this stuff in. So we're back. I hope you were patient for that split second of silence there. So you know how we have Canada Post is striking again?
Are they?
It's like they always are, man. It's like every year, every 2 years. I don't know what it is.
It's like Christmas time.
It's like they're probably happy with their contract, but they're just like, history
this is the time to get money.
Tradition.
Christmas
tradition. Where's that from? That's Fiddler on the Roof.
Is it?
I haven't seen Fiddler on the Roof. How old am I? 42. In 43 years. It has been a long time. Tradition. It is pretty good though. I like it. Anyway, so like if we're sending any mail out to anybody or anything like that, it's going to be quite delayed. So,
if you're expecting
snail
things
mail
just
at its finest.
Patience.
That's right. That's right. And
how's your week though?
That's how it is. I had a good week, man. Like, GGG came out with some big news this week.
They did.
And so, it's neat. And like you and I are overhyped in this regard. Like you and I have talked about it. We're excited for the beta, but I guess now, I guess maybe the overhype is gone and we're just ready. And we'll get into that, right? The PoE stuff is coming, but it was kind of fun. Angus, that's how I pronounce it. My apologies if it's wrong. And I on Twitter, we banter back and forth, Path of Exile podcast stuff. It's a lot of fun. But a Bruins fan, a Boston Bruins fan. I know, right? I mean, for someone like us to communicate with a Boston Bruins fan, right?
Yeah, it's like a Canadians fan. Ugh.
I mean, Octavian didn't specifically say he was a Bruins fan. So coming from the area, I guess that's fine. But, you got to be pretty amazing for a Canucks fan to acknowledge that a Boston Bruins fan is a cool person.
I was going to say exists, but yes, that too.
So anyway, Angus and I, through the PoE hype, got into a virtual hockey fight with our replies on the PoE thread there in a little bit. So it was a good fight, Angus. Good fight.
How did we
riled up the crowd. I think we did pretty good.
We did all right?
We did pretty good. I mean, the Bruins, right? I mean,
statistically, though,
they're tough.
We lose.
Well, the big games. Who cares about the regular season stats? Yeah, we don't
finish well, but we'll put in the work.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, don't let Ryan or Chris or Aaron hear this part because
I'll cut it out for just them.
Yeah, that's right. Send them a separate episode. Anyway, Angus, I hope you're icing your face. It was a good fight. But no, I had a good week, man. Kids are great. Like they had that long weekend last weekend and the kids kind of like turned like it would be one of those moments where in retrospect, you don't know when it happened, but it already happened kind of thing. Like as a parent, my kids both kind of grew up the past week and a bit.
In what sense?
They're just they're just older all of a sudden. How they talk, how we hang out, how we walk places, how they're talking about, I don't know, books they're putting on hold, the groceries we should or shouldn't buy. Like it was all of a sudden like I'm talking to, I mean, they're 9 and 11, almost 10 and 12. All of our birthdays are in the new year. But it's just like from what it was a month ago, it was like all of a sudden one day they just woke up and it just happened to be on the same day for both of them. So it was just a fun week. It was a retrospective week. We had just a lot of fun as a family, and my wife's schedule changed a little bit. So it kind of changed not necessarily the dynamic, but just, I guess, a little bit of the dynamic of like what things used to be like a long time ago when my wife used to shift work and stay out late. The bedtime routines and stuff like that with or without her.
To shift work dinners or shift work?
Yes and no.
So, okay.
Yes and no. 50-50. So anyway, but it was a great week and everybody's healthy and good. And like, I just have nothing to complain about. Oh, I have a horrendous confession to make. Please don't tell anybody.
Just between me and you right now.
Just you and me. Just you and me. So, I've been looking for a game that, like while I'm doing chores, it kind of like just goes. I can intervene when I want, but it's just up there, whether it's on my phone or on the computer or not the computer because it's in an awkward place for me to check on and see conveniently while I'm doing chores, but like on the TV or Xbox. And, I was hoping like there's just stuff that I've always been interested in and stuff that I've never been interested in. So you're trying to find something that matches that along with what you like. And I was hoping Age of Empires could be that, you know what I mean? Set up like a huge map and then I'd be able to like spend 20 minutes setting up my empire
and then just let them win. Or
whether if I could set up a good turtle situation or if I felt like, okay, I'm going to go attack these guys and keep these guys, just something where like every few minutes when I come back to the living room, I could interact with. I tried to make Age of Empires that over time.
Tough to do that.
And I found that I was playing more and doing less work than I wanted to type of thing. It required more attention than I was hoping. Guess what game absolutely perfectly matches it once you learn it?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of something funny and I got nothing. So what is it? Tell me. It's probably going to be funny.
Sims 4. He's laughing. There was silence, and that'll get taken out. Justin's actually pushed his chair back and is laughing. So
Sims 4.
So my wife started playing Path of Exile like a year ago, and then got back into it half a year ago. And in the last few months, the last few months, she's been quite into Path of Exile. And like, she'll ask me a Path of Exile question at the table, and I'm like, dear, like, you can't do
I'm
this.
sorry, I'm going to keep interrupting you. Are you asking
That's okay.
Sims 4 questions?
So here's the thing. So when Erin asked me like a PoE question, we're at the dinner table because that's on her mind. I'm like, dude, that's too hot for the dinner table. Like, you can't do that to me, right? I can't control myself right now. Get out of here. So anyway, when I'm asking my wife Sims 4 questions, it's coming back. It's coming back.
So
but let me tell you, our sex life is probably going to, whether it's good or bad, is going to skyrocket now. All I need to do is, so dear, when my Sims don't have a baby,
when I need
they
a
die,
job.
and she's like, hold that thought, jumping on right now.
So you're playing Sims 4 on the PC, I assume?
And to a stupid degree, like the other day, like, so on newspaper days with the kids, because of like my concussion stuff, the newspaper wrote doing that with the kids. I don't do anything, but just that extra walk, the extra 3 kilometers of walking, it's a lot. So I actually have to prepare for it lots for those that are new listeners. And I don't do any heavy chores, but that also includes things like vacuuming, like that heavy pushing back and forth type of thing. I'll only do the laundry if it's light. And so, like, you know, I have a relaxing day. Thursdays are typically like after I do all the basics, I can, you know, write or read, play video games, whatever. So I'm like, you know what? I got a few computer things to do today, so I can take it easy, but catch up on a few computer things. And, but I'm like, I'm just going to like set up this one little part of my house here for gardening. And then, you know, I'll let them do their thing. Well, all of a sudden it was time to pick up the kids. It was like 5 hours out of nowhere. It's like what mapping used to be like back in the day. You know what I mean?
So
before
funny.
you like pointed, before you like knew all the stupidity in Path of Exile 1 that you have to tolerate. You know what I mean? When that was all exciting, that's what it was. Yeah, it was.
It's
really
on PC then, right? Or
it's on PC, but I'm on console. And
Sims is on console?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have the same, they just switched maybe a year ago to the same format that GGG uses. The game's free to play, but then, I mean, GGG, you don't pay for expansions with Path of Exile, of course. That's just through MTX. But with Sims, all the cool expansions it's stupid. They're like $50.
Yeah.
For expansions. And they add nowhere near $50 worth. Well, occasionally.
But you have all of them, don't you?
Not on console.
Okay.
And so, anyway, yeah. And then like last night, Erin and I finished watching both episodes of Dark. She goes to bed and I'm like, I go to start another movie. I'm like, no, I'm not really. I'm like 30 minutes and I'm going to bed. So then I put on Sims and I go to finish up what I was trying to do before when the kids were going to, when I had to go pick up the kids.
And then all of a sudden
it's 2 a.m.
and
I'm like, oh,
that is awesome.
So I message my wife every now and then, F you, F this game, like it's funny,
so
but I am enjoying it.
Fun.
And now that I've thrown off the pride hat and refused to play a game, like it wasn't necessarily pride in retrospect. I just didn't think I would like it. I thought I would get bored of it, but it is actually exactly what I'm looking for. And the leveling up in that game, it's nothing like in Path of Exile. Maybe it'll be like what it's like in Path of Exile 2, right? It seems like they're taking away half of all that stuff that I love that's leveled. But anyway, I'm embarrassed.
Nah, that's awesome. I think it's fun.
Say Sims 4. So my wife's playing my favorite game. Sims 4. I'm playing her favorite game.
Are you going to be able to come back to PoE 2, or is this going to be you got to finish your house?
No. PoE is not even ever going to be a game that I can play in the background. Like you have to be hands-on for it. So they're for two totally different things. And I definitely don't love Sims that much. It's that convenient that I can scratch it and play it that while I'm doing all this stuff, and it works.
That's awesome.
So I've asked all the questions that will help me play it the way that I want to, as autonomously as possible, while they're still doing the stuff that I want. And
well, you haven't quite gotten to that point yet. If it's taking you hours to set up.
No, because I still have to like figure out all the glitches and stuff, right? So that things work properly, so your Sims don't get stuck and they don't get fat in their old age, which my whole family got fat because I didn't put a treadmill in my house or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so whatever, whatever, Aaron, whatever. Hang on, I gotta take off my hoodie.
So good. Yep. Oof. Ty get naked. Oh man, from Path of Exile to Path of Exile. Look at you. You didn't even hear me. I said from Path of Exile to Path of Exile. I forgot you didn't have headphones on. Just said
all right.
Dual PoE stuff.
It was a good week. I filled in some voids, like I actually found that thing that I was looking for video game wise. And I humbled myself quite quickly.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, tell me about your week.
It was good. It was busy, but it was good. It was, what did we do? We had the long weekend. I'm just looking at my calendar to see if I can find anything that wasn't work related. It was mostly work. It was mostly work. One of my kids got a bit of a cold, so dealing with that, and then started setting up Christmas because my kids wanted to. Yeah. So we did that, and
wait, Christmas? Oh yeah, I guess Remembrance Day is gone.
I don't care who's setting up before Remembrance Day. That's not a thing to me. I couldn't care less when it gets set up. But my kids love Christmas. We started doing it during COVID early. Yeah. Because just during that time, it was like it was the 1 year where everything got shut down and it was just depressing in the house. Sure. And so we did Christmas early. And so we've just done it every year since then. Aaron is just having a heyday with your phone. Yeah. So we did that. And then
I won't read you everything.
Yeah.
But so I do have my phone on Do Not Disturb, but my wife and then the kids' schools are on the exemption list. Mm-hmm. Of course, almost everything my wife and I send each other isn't important. But anyway, so I was talking to her, like we got our hot water tank, and I will go back to you. This is just
that's fine. You got your hot water tank. What?
We got it fixed. Like it's now code to have that extra extension, that like extra 2-gallon extension for water pressure and stuff like that. So we got that up to date, and it's it's not doing the water pressure leak anymore, and it's all good. And had a few other things, like tied up a few loose ends. The issues that we're having with the floor upstairs with the insurance company, like that got resolved in the way that we wanted this week. Our door finally got fixed. Like all of a sudden, all those emails that are starred in my Gmail account, I was able to swipe and actually have a clean slate for the first time in forever, because all of these different companies are, taking her 6 months. So anyway, so she's responding to a bunch of stuff that's coming to her mind because, she had an early night and then woke up. We didn't see each other this morning. So she's responding to some of that. But after that, I still can't believe you are enjoying Sims. It's so funny to me in a good way. And then there's a few gifts. Wait until you try the expansion packs. And then she sent a gift like one of us, one of us, one of us. So
anyway, while you pulled that open to look at it, I took a glance at our Discord just out of curiosity, and we were EJ and a couple people tried to ping us, as people do, and realized it wasn't working, and so they tagged your wife and said, "Can you do it for us?"
Oh, no way. Is that what the mwahahaha is for?
I'm guessing so.
Oh, maybe it is. Like she said somebody doing an evil giggle after the expansion packs.
That's too funny. Yeah, That's awesome. Well done, everyone. You got us through, Aaron. That's so funny. They know how to get through.
Whatever.
Anyway, yeah, the week was good. It was a lot of work. Getting ready for year end, which is never fun, but it's always busy. And the work's been awesome. Like, it's really good. I'm enjoying it. Like, it's very, very busy, but I like to be busy. But yeah, no, I really can't complain. I haven't really played much of anything. Like, I still have my WoW thing. I'm going to cancel it this month so it doesn't charge me again. But
I thought you said it wasn't set up for that.
I thought it wasn't. Literally like a day after I said that to you, I got a charge. I was like, whoops, apparently it is. So it's canceled now, but yeah, I'm just kind of done. Like I did play it a little bit this week, not very much, but I'm not enjoying it. I don't feel like I have a whole lot of time to play games. We've been watching, what did we watch? We watched Murders in the Building, only Murders in the Building, because we both like that show. So we finished the most recent season, and then we're finishing up Schitt's Creek just for fun. But I'm just tired in the evenings. Like, I just don't want to do anything. And I tried playing and I'm just like, I'm not feeling it. So I'm excited for PoE 2 to come out and get back into it, because Path of Exile 1 is just not what I want to do right now. So good week.
It's great timing.
Yeah,
good timing.
It has been good timing. Yeah.
Get that downtime, and then the beta comes out and you're
and especially as we come into
go hard, you don't feel obligated.
Quiet time of the year for work. So timing wise, it'll be great for me, because like the week after it comes out is when stuff will chill for me. So
Sure.
Otherwise, you know what? It's
Lawn's
just a week.
Lawn's prepped for the winter?
Nah, not enough. I didn't get the cut in, so it's it'll be fine. It'll come back. It'll go to bed healthy. We'll see how it comes. Did you get yours cut that one day opening? Did you?
And I did, and I like way down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Like as low as I could go.
Did you have to do multiple cuts to do that, or did you do that in one cut?
No, I did it in one cut. It's a good lawnmower.
It's a lot of work.
Good. It was, but it was nice and like I just walked really slow. No, I mulch it. But it was nice and slow to make sure that I was getting it all, and it all went on the one battery, which was awesome. So it was good. Yeah, it worked out really well. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, mine's we're gonna just survive the cold because it has been like gushing rain this week. So lawn cutting time is done. I did check to make sure that my Christmas lights work though. My neighbors started putting up their Christmas lights outside just to hang them. I don't know if they're actually putting them on, but every year, because I pre-hung ours, right? Like they're the permanent. I built like a channel across all the areas I wanted it, installed LEDs. It runs off a little computer thing in the garage. And but every year I'm like, oh, are they gonna work? I don't know if they're gonna work. So I checked it out yesterday just to make sure that they still turn on and function, and thankfully they do. So I'm set.
Living the dream.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have to save it for after dark. I don't know if I'll remember, but I'll put a note about a door. I'm going to make a note for myself. AD. I'm just going to say a door as here, just in case people hear it. I'll make a more detailed note that I can talk about in After Dark. But yeah, know what? It was a good week overall. Things are good. Kids are healthy-ish. And yeah, life's good, man. Did you notice?
What is that?
I'll give you a moment. Oh, yes, you do.
Justin's showing me his shirt. He's leaned back. I don't recognize
Now imagine that you walked past me and all of a sudden it activated as if you had clicked it.
Is that a Path of Exile waypoint?
It is.
Where'd that shirt come from? I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Question. I got an email notification that something was delivered to my house. And I was like, what is this thing? And I go and pick it up and I'm like, I don't even know what this bag is. And I open it up and it's a Path of Exile t-shirt. I don't know when I ordered it. I don't know if it came from something. I have no clue.
All right, listeners, homework time. What pack? Because GGG, unfortunately, it's one of those things where it's like a 6-month process to get physical items from them from support packs that you buy, which is really,
it must have been from one.
So, right. But they also switched providers at some point. Company. They went to Jinx. That was a big deal for them. We saw those news posts, but that was like 2 years ago, 1 year ago. So is it from the old provider? Did it take a long time?
No, it said Uni something. The company was like Uni or something. But wow. Yeah. So I was
let us know where Justin got it from.
It's a waypoint shirt.
It is, but it's not. It doesn't like show the waypoint. It only shows the logo
art
on right, like the symbols and the runes in the circle, and then the cross points in the middle.
Originally, I was going to just leave it in the bag and drop it off at your house, but I was like, I'm going to open and just see if it has Path of Exile on it. It has Path of Exile nowhere on the shirt.
Awesome.
So I was like, well, I'll wear this one. Like it's generic enough that unless you know, and if you know, then I'm fine with you knowing. Versus some, I didn't want something that had it written all over the place. So yeah.
Well, one of the shirts that you gave. So funny enough, with all this, we're 26 minutes. We haven't talked PoE yet.
This is PoE.
Yeah. So predominantly the t-shirts that I bought were either white or colored.
Okay.
Right. Like a green or dark blue or maroon, whatever it is. And then my wonderfully generous friend named Justin gives me all of his Path of Exile shirts that he's never worn, that he's got from all these support packs. All of a sudden, like my wardrobe's primarily black now because all the shirts are
all
black.
The shirts are black.
Right. But one of those shirts I'm wearing today, and it's another one of those if you know shirts.
That's a cool shirt.
It's just the Zana one where she has the celestial in the background. She's staring at her sword.
Mm-hmm. Did I give you the jacket that has that too? Because I think I did. I think I saw it.
Not a jacket.
There's a hoodie? A zip-up hoodie?
Well, there is a hoodie, but I don't think it has Zana on it.
Oh. Well, if I still have it, I'll drop it off.
It's okay.
I thought I saw a hoodie with that on it. Maybe not. But anyway,
so we're both wearing if you know, you know, except your if you know, you know is a little bit more if you know, you know-ish.
Yeah.
Right. Like
takes
I
a
didn't
minute.
even know. Wow.
Yeah.
It took some explanation for me.
But you
not
got
just
it.
a minute.
You got
so
it.
Tyler, if you walked past this waypoint and clicked the waypoint. Nope,
you
not
got
following.
it. You got it. I was vague. I was vague enough with my thing.
You were.
Anyway, what do we got this week in PoE?
Well,
Mon frere.
only 2 notes
Mhm.
and 1 patch, but both massive news. So let's see.
I haven't seen these.
What do you want to talk about first? There's
Well, tell me about this rollback thing. What happened?
They applied the patch for account migration.
You told me that. I remember you messaging me about that.
They
happening.
did that, and they and so that was really cool to see it live. It was just one of those notes, one of those days where I was free, and like for me, Twitter or X, whatever, it's minimized. Like I don't even get notifications for it unless it's GGG, because I like to hear the news. Hey, Realm is down. Hey, Realm is up. Whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And oh, hey, we're live, and I'm like, oh no, I totally forgot about the Twitch live thing. You know, whatever day it is. So, but it's just one of those days where I'm doing things on my own time. I'm by myself and my phone starts dinging, and GGG announces that they're...
It was the migration or something?
Right. So they went from announcing the account migration, hey, we're going to do this in a day or 2 or this week, and it's a huge process. They explain it for the people that need to have a huge process explained to them as to why the downtime was going to be so long. But it was because they expected the downtime. They were guessing, but at least 4 hours to have the whole thing down. And that's a big deal because it's for Path of Exile 1, right? Like otherwise you wouldn't care. But it's about the account migration from Path of Exile 1 and then about crossplay for Xbox.
But I mean, really, they're doing all this stuff for Path of Exile 2.
For PoE 2, right. But they just finished releasing their new quote-unquote league.
Oh, right. The new league.
To have 4 hours or more downtime is kind of a big deal. I'm sure there's nowhere near the same amount of people playing. But still, it's, you know, they've just released this league. A few days later, everything's down for 4 hours. But they actually and so this is a day, and it was like, today's the day, November 15th was when we were originally supposed to be having this big reveal and playing the beta, right? Today's the day. And so the 3-week delay starts impacting us starting today. Mm-hmm. And so, but beforehand, like we're talking like 2-3 days, whatever it was, beforehand, they apply the patch that they originally delayed the beta for. So like how cool is that? Right. Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. But then, and that was about everything. Now, if you read the patch notes.
Yeah, I was just reading through them.
Maybe it's not in the patch. They updated it to
say the patch was rolled back. So they've changed it. But I read the thing because they also put a whole post out about changes to the account systems, which I did try to look at, but it was way too long and I just didn't care because I don't use other platforms.
So for the most part, and we don't need to go into it. You'll load the game if you have multiple accounts and split stuff, whether it was through Steam or what's the other one that people use? The other Steam. They're trying to be Steam, but they're not close to Steam. Anyway, and then there's like the PoE client.
The Epic one?
People
are they on?
Yeah, the Epic. Epic, Steam, this, but then also console, right? So they're merging all these accounts. So they came up with a unique way to go through and do it. So they explain it.
They're going the Blizzard way with the pound and the digits afterwards. That's what Blizzard
Microsoft does the same thing too. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Sony does as well. And then there's the sub accounts that are there as well. But then the big news in this patch, before we get into the rollback, was unfortunately, any purchases made on PlayStation platforms cannot be used on other platforms.
Right.
And purchases made on other platforms can't be used on PlayStation platforms. Mm-hmm. Note that these purchases will still work, but the microtransactions won't be available when viewing them as terms of like a account connection.
Yep.
If you previously and then they go into that. So that's a big deal to me. Now, I don't have a PlayStation, but that's a big deal to me because GGG announced that cross-play, microtransactions, all of that would work.
Yeah,
and so you could have somebody in Sony land
Yeah.
Or if they're playing both like I do, Xbox and PC, making purchases apathetically, like sure, they were going to get it, but maybe they would have been way more strategic with how they spent their money if they knew there was a chance that it wasn't going to be cross-compatible, their MTXs. Yeah. See, if that, like, ever since they announced MTX cross-compatibility back in the day, I've been a lot more apathetic as to which platform I buy my MTXs on, because they told me it's not going to matter, right? Even when it comes to, like, I can, on the Path of Exile forums on the website, I can link my Twitch account to one account, right? So those free things that I get for watching their live streams, I have to choose. Do I want that to be connected to my PC account, or do I want this free MTX to be on my Xbox account? Ever since that announcement, I haven't cared. I switch it back and forth occasionally because you know how there's that like Twitch add-on that, or like extension that they have where you can see what somebody's wearing and what the gems are and stuff.
Okay.
Like on Twitch, there's that sidebar and you can click on it and it shows the character they're actually playing. Well, that's not cross-platform. I have to, like, if I'm playing on Xbox, but my Twitch account is tied to my PC account, it's going to show them my most recently played PC character, even though I'm streaming on the Xbox. So I have to manually change that in my profile if I care for somebody to see what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that, like, the wording was basically guaranteed. And
Can
now
I make
coming
just a slight argument towards?
Sure, yeah,
so
please.
I do agree with you. I think that is too bad. I don't remember specifically the idea that MTX were also cross-platform, but I'm sure that was a thing that they said. As a person, and this is going to come a bit.
We all think you're a dick anyway, Justin.
I'm not meaning it to be a dick, but I am a person who plays just primarily on PC. The way that I had always thought of what they said they were going to do was that Path of Exile 1 will carry over to Path of Exile 2. Any MTXs that I purchase in Path of Exile 1, I'll be able to continue to play in Path of Exile 2. I didn't read the note or pay attention to the fact that was also cross-platform. So for me, it meant that anything I purchased in Path of Exile 1, I would continue to be able to use in Path of Exile 2, but I'm looking at it from just solely a PC player, so everything I buy. And I think maybe in my head I thought, here's the thing, I don't, if that's the way that they word it, it's unfortunate, but I will say, as long as any purchases someone made in Path of Exile 1 PlayStation is available to that player still in Path of Exile 2 PlayStation, I'm not saying that that's a fix, that's everything fine, but as long as it's still available to them to continue to play Path of Exile 2 on PlayStation, which they will, it does suck, but that's at least still good that they still continue to maintain those purchases that they made. But I do understand the idea that it cross-platform sucks.
You know what? You bring up a really good point, and I was just like you were thinking solely PC, so you weren't paying attention to the console version of the news. I was so excited for crossplay,
right,
with my multiple accounts on different platforms that I didn't consider the fact that this is still what they guaranteed.
Right. I wish that it worked. I do understand where you're coming from.
Well, no, maybe it's not though. Maybe it's not. Hang on. In my head, and maybe I'm wrong because of course memory's memory, but in my head, GGG said that any purchases you make in Path of Exile 1 will work in Path of Exile 2 and vice versa.
Right, but I don't remember specifically, and they very well could have said that it will also be in cross play. I know that what you just said there will still happen. Any purchases made in Path of Exile 1 PlayStation will continue to work in Path of Exile 2 PlayStation.
Oh, okay. No, you're right. You're right.
I do understand that does suck.
So maybe maybe that's me being like, you know how we're all like that kind of like, this is how it's going to be for me. This is what it matters for 100%. Me. So maybe my memory's a little bit skewed, but I still seem to remember or think that GGG said, like when I see here, unfortunately, purchases made on PS platforms can't be used on other platforms and vice versa.
Can I just say,
still conflicting with what they said?
I actually think the opposite. I think that the fact that a purchase you make on the Xbox store or Xbox platform being available as an MTX for you on the PC version is incredible. I don't know how that works. I don't know how they made that work, but that to me is really impressive because you're purchasing on not even just like an entirely different platform, but like an entirely different system. It's not even there. It's not like Epic and Steam where they're both PC based, but even that is crazy to me because you're still the ability for them to make it so that if you purchase something on Steam is available on any other thing. I don't understand how they even made that work, but I do understand what you're saying, especially if you're thinking of it from the Xbox PC world. I think that you're going to be able to do that is crazy cool. But as long as in my head, as long as if I made the purchase in PlayStation on PoE 1, I can use that purchase in PoE 2 on PlayStation. That to me is keeping what I remember them saying it, but I could have been wrong. There could have been a cross-play part of it too.
Yeah. So either way, the point of that wasn't really to cut down GGG, as long as they're keeping their promises, right? It's a dangerous thing to promise.
Yep.
But it was more to just express my condolences to the PlayStation community. There were no comments so far anyway about it's still something we're working on.
I would bet they just can't. You'll get it Sony, in the future. I feel like is just like Apple.
Sony. They're like nope. Bizarre. I have 9 years in the video game industry in my resume. It was all long before cross-platform was even a conversation, right? Like mobile gaming wasn't even a thing then. Nokia was making gaming phones where they were horizontal instead of vertical, and you could slide the keyboard out. And I was helping with FIFA for that one, the Nokia FIFA, the first one that came out. And it's just one of those things where like my industry, my experience has nothing. Like the only cross-platform, cross-play, all that kind of stuff experience that I have is as a gamer. From this side, knowing what the old school industry was like, but having no clue what the new permission-based system is like and who's the stick in the mud for this, and if it's, if the stick in the mud is more on the right than the person who's just trying to, but the customer, maybe Sony's right? Like they refused EA Play, Sony, because they didn't want to have more subscription or more features gated behind more subscriptions. They just wanted one subscription for everything. Really cool idea. EA Play has turned into a phenomenal investment for many people, and Microsoft, so much so that Microsoft's basically been copying it with Game Pass. So it's just one of those things where maybe there's no right or no wrong. It's just, sticking to conflicting values, right? Different companies. So, but at the end of the day, it was a massive week for GGG.
Oh, I still want to bring up one more thing about this, though.
Yeah, please do.
So the only thing that I'm curious about how they're going to handle is this doesn't take away from your ability to still do cross play and cross platform. If I make a character but here's where I'm curious about how that matters. If I have a character that I am playing on Sony and I'm playing it on PlayStation and I'm mapping and I'm in the end game, whatever it is, how does it work when I want to play that character on PC, but my stash tabs no longer are there? Like, because stash tabs are a purchasable thing. Do those stash tabs just not show up on the PC side? Like, I'm curious how that works. Do you know what I mean?
Only from a Sony perspective, they're cross-play, cross-platform. Like it's all one account now.
Yes, I agree. Except that stash tabs are a purchased thing from the Sony side. If I purchased my stash tabs on the Sony side and purchases are not carrying over outside of Sony, how would my purchased stash tabs show up on the PC? They wouldn't. Those stash tabs would just not be there. Like I know we're talking MTX, but the fact is MTX isn't the only thing you purchase. You also purchase stash tabs. So how does that work with my purchased stash tabs from the Sony side once I go to play it on the PC side?
Well, it's only the characters that carry over according to this post, right? So you would, if you were already cross-platform, then, if you were already on both platforms, you already have a system in place. Like I currently do, right? I have whatever stash tabs purchased, and it's different what I have on PC versus what I have on Xbox. I'm assuming once it all comes to play, that all blends together.
Yeah, but
in Sony land, they're already used to no cross-platform, and for them, nothing's changing. So the system's already in place.
But what I'm saying right now is with you, when you go to play Path of Exile 2 on the Xbox, and then you go, I want to go play on the PC. Yeah. My assumption is that when you open the stash tab on either of them, they're identical. They're the same. It's the account's the same. What I'm saying is for PlayStation, that wouldn't be the case. because a stash tab is a purchased thing. So what happens when you log into the PC side with your player and thing that you've been playing on the PlayStation side? Do those stash tabs just not show up when you open up the stash tab?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it'll just be the way that it is now. So yes, your character carries over. Yes, your character carries over, but your stash tabs don't.
But I'm assuming your stash tabs will carry over in PoE
in Xbox land.
Xbox.
That's my assumption as well. Yeah. So, but that's not as being hard done by in PlayStation land. It is in comparison to what Xbox is going to get, but it's not in comparison to what they currently have.
No, I understand,
basically
but that still
the
is a
same.
huge downside. Why would you, if you were a PlayStation player, cross-platform is not super useful because my map stash tab now doesn't exist. I don't see my maps. I can't go and just map on the PC.
Fragments would be a huge one. That's what the whole end game currently revolves around. But also keep in mind, Path of Exile 1 is not Path of Exile 2. So
it'll be interesting.
They'll be starting fresh with the restrictions that they're already aware of.
Yep.
Right. But at the end of the day, it is frustrating for somebody if they don't have the option and they know that everyone else is cross-platform.
Does your hideout just disappear? You don't have the same. I don't cross-platform, so it doesn't. Like I said, it didn't matter to me. That's why I didn't pay much attention to it. But in my opinion, if they keep to what it is, with hopefully keeping within the same platform within PoE 1 and 2. That's at least good, but it does suck. I'm impressed with what you're getting on the Xbox side, to be honest. I'm surprised
very thankful for it,
that it works that way. So that is cool.
I don't know how surprised I am, but that could just be how naive I am to it. Like, I know that they're going through a lot to make it work, but I also know that there's a lot of other companies that do cross-platform. Granted, they might not have the same MTX and purchase system that GGG does, but maybe GGG's purchase system is the same as everybody else's. Well, granted, many cross-platform games were created with cross-platform in mind, so they don't have the same struggle that GGG has, having a 10-year-old game that now they're trying to make cross-platform.
But the thing is, like,
look at Rocket League. That was one of the first.
Both spots. You think so? If they're not free to play games, you had to buy them in both spots.
Because I don't play any. Like, Rocket League was one of the first to throw down, like, it was a purchasable game at the beginning, and then they changed their system like many other people have to GGG setup. But Rocket League was the first one to break through the Xbox PC barrier, and they were even the first ones, as far as I know anyway, to break through the PlayStation land barriers as well. And then of course you have all these other crazy ones like Fortnite and everything else that everybody plays. But like, obviously GGG has the difficulty of not creating Path of Exile 1 with an eventual cross-platform in mind. So they have a lot of back-end changes to do.
Even
but
Fortnite,
in terms of what you're getting as a user who's naive to the point of it almost being offensive to how much work goes into making it cross-platform, I don't know. It seems like they're coming up to what other cross-platform people are like. But I have no idea if, like, those purchases are limited or not.
On Fortnite for my kid, the purchases are not shared.
Really?
For some of the stuff, I don't know exactly how it all works, but he plays on Xbox and PlayStation, and I know they're not. And I don't know how it works for him on PC, but yeah, I mean, I'm just impressed. I think that's really cool that if you play on the Xbox and the computer, that your purchases made in game would share between the two. I think that's awesome. It's unfortunate PlayStation doesn't get it, but as long as they stay within the platform, I think that's at least a positive. And this is just unfortunate that it's not going to work that way for Sony players. Yeah.
Well, hey, at the end of the day, like, none of this again was a criticism to GGG. Hopefully,
they're limited
nothing
to
that
what
they
the
said in the
companies let them do.
Right. And hopefully they didn't promise anything without knowing the restrictions ahead of time, right? That were out of their hands. But at the end of the day, like this week, all I've been is impressed with the company. I'm not sure what we've sounded like in the past, whether we sounded negative, but we felt positive and it just didn't come out that way, or whether we sounded positive and were positive. I don't remember what the other episodes were like, but this week, all I was feeling was like GGG came out with that patch that they originally delayed the beta for prior to the original beta's release date. Like, that's huge. Like, good
but then
for
they had
you.
to roll
You took
it back,
that
so it was good they took that 3 weeks.
It is. But even then, but they didn't know they would have to roll back.
Sure.
It's not like they take a 4-hour downtime, which they've never done before. Like, they had multiple posts about this, and in the one where they talked about the account migration, they had to remove that post. They rolled it back. Their last paragraph was like, "This is not the quality we want you to expect from GGG." Or I'm paraphrasing, but this is
not the level of
expect,
service you should expect.
Right. Like, we are very, very sorry for this. They
4
never
hour
intended to have the
not a
rollback.
big deal. It really is not a big deal. When you're talking about a major game, like, I understand it's really cool that they apologized and said, like, this isn't what you should expect. But the fact is, they're prepping for PoE 2. And this, we've talked about in the past, is the part they cannot fuck up. They have to nail this part. So I'm glad that they're taking as long as they need to do. It's unfortunate that they had to roll it back, but Jesus, is that ever good for them to catch that stuff now versus December 6th? Yeah.
But even we were talking in previous episodes, like, what do you get out of 3 weeks? Like, you obviously have to know what you're doing to know that 3 weeks, because 3 weeks isn't enough time to investigate and fix. 3 weeks is only enough time to, this is the issue or issues.
Yeah.
It's going to take us 1 week. We're taking 3 weeks because we're going to get this. So for them to take that 3 weeks, but then come out with the post prior to their original release date, that really makes you think, like, wow, they were really giving themselves a safe buffer. Like, it shows that different attitude that they have, or that fans would think that they used to have versus what they do have now. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea what it's like in the offices, and I hope it's a fantastic place to work. But, you know, we're still used to that pre-313, pre-heist stuff, even though it hasn't been like that for forever. And so to see that massive change in, like, yes, give yourself this buffer time. Yes, do this. Yeah. Like, it's just, I was so impressed with them all week. I'm very sad for them that they did have to roll back that patch and that they felt obligated, and a good business move, but that they felt obligated to apologize to the masses as well. And PoE 2, because it's so close now, I'm getting all those dumb articles from people that, like, all the different magazines that write about ARPGs and stuff and compare Path of Exile to, like, the crappiest of ARPGs and all this kind of stuff. Like, the people that play, they don't really know PoE, you know what I mean? Every now and then you'll get an author that's actually put in a few thousand hours of PoE, but for the most part it's like 30 hours, and they're comparing them to, like, the dumbest of ARPGs. But still, those authors, those journalists, they reach a whole bunch of people. If you have a patch that you have to roll back and you have a ton of downtime and you don't come out with an apology, idiot journalist is going to think, well, they're not going to put out a great review. They're not going to put out a great thing. And that hurts you long term, right? So, I mean, it was good for GGG to do the apology. I'm glad they did anyway, but I don't think like, for me, you don't need to apologize. Like, as a fan, people that are fans like me, like, sucks it didn't work. We're really sorry. I'm glad you had that delayed 3 weeks, because now you have time to figure it out and fix it up. And they even said they know what the issue is. They found it and it was easy. So that's cool.
My feeling towards it is that I'm thankful they took the 3 weeks, and especially because, given Jonathan's video, this is what they were fighting around or trying to figure out. And based on their announcement that shows all the changes, it sounds like they've really worked through a lot of the things that could or will happen. And so I think this is good. Yep. I think that,
and it was just a coding issue. It wasn't like a structure issue, right?
I hope with whatever it was that they've got it sorted and that they're going to be good to go for December 6th.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to more, like, multiple downtimes beforehand, just to make sure that it works properly. Right. Like, it was funny. I was reading their post on how the account merging was going to work, and I'm like, well, that's, like, directed straight to me. I'm a 50-50 PC console player, or 75-25, whatever. But, like, I do both. Like, this is for me. I'm really curious what it's going to look like how am I going to merge, where I can go. Like, I want to contact support to have one primary account. How is this all going to, like, I'm really curious what this is going to look like in the game, and then how it's going to function for PoE 2 compared to PoE 1, right? Because I can only do the one game right now. And so I'm just like, man, what's...
At a glance, it looked like they showed pictures of how that will work. I didn't pay much attention because it's not a thing for, like, I don't care about, but yeah, it's cool. I like that they're thinking through it, and it makes me feel better about their 3 week delay. Even though I still don't get what 3 weeks get them, I'm going to just go off the assumption that 3 weeks wasn't what they needed. That's just what they picked to be safe. And that makes me feel better about it, because in my head, I can't wrap my head around what does 3 weeks change. But
and then I think it was just after that they had the patch and then the rollback and the apology. But in the apologies, like, we know what's going on, right? So hopefully the next time they do the patch application, it works, right? Hopefully that is the only issue that shows up and was relevant. But after that, they come out with a post that gives themselves a new date. Like, not a new beta date. The new beta date is always like, it's still the 6th, but now you have the announcement date, and that's the 21st, and that is 2 weeks.
It's a Thursday too. I was so happy.
It is.
I was like,
yeah,
thank
Thursdays
you guys.
are wicked.
Yeah,
that's right. And what time is it that
I don't
day?
know what
Hang
time
on.
it's at. 12 p.m.
Nice. So, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a lot longer than 12 hours. Maybe
I'm
I'll get
not
the kids
for that.
What are you doing? Stuff and things?
Yeah, I'm away that whole day on the 21st. But that's fine. I'll watch it afterwards. Yeah, I'm in Vancouver all day.
Oh, well, you're going to have a fun time catching up on Discord. The biggest announcement they've had in 10 years.
I know.
I mean, just for a normal league, our Discord goes nuts. If you miss launch and you're not keeping up, you've got like 400 messages the next day. So
yeah,
this...
I'll have to watch that afterwards. But I did watch the video. The video was awesome. Freaking Camille, man.
Wasn't it?
God, the music is just awesome. And also, so are we on to this one?
You do what you want, man. We're just talking.
I hope, when I watched it, and I know people disagree, don't like it, I hope Path of Exile 2 is not a fast game. I hope I get to enjoy the shit they're making, because it looks awesome. Those boss fights, they showed like 4,500 bosses. Like, the amount of bosses that they showed in that one clip is like, what is this? A minute and 26 seconds? So many bosses. They looked awesome. There was a dude that cut the world in half and like a whole part of the bridge. I was just like, oh my God, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
That was it for me.
When I watch sports, we watch a lot of sports, and I'm a big commercial fan. I love commercials. Doesn't mean I like every commercial, but there's a lot of commercials. One that keeps popping up, and
he's getting emotional about it.
No. I was trying to think of a sensitive way to word this for our listeners, but one of them is like for the Depends, like
yeah,
you know, like the absorbent underwear for when you're a little bit older, and I think I'm gonna have to buy some, Justin.
Why not? I mean, God, December, you just sit there and watch TV or play
maybe
games?
Even for December 21st, but definitely for December 6th.
Wait, what's December 21st?
Oh, sorry, November 21st.
Oh, I was like, what did I miss?
That's the live GGG event for December 6th. Sorry, I get my months mixed up. Yeah, it looks really cool. It looks cool. So, I mean, there's 2 hours until I have to leave to go get the kids. I might tell them to just walk themselves home that day. They'll come upstairs. They'll go upstairs. I'm like, I know it's newspaper day. I'll be there in a bit.
It's going to be. Oh, they're doing an after live stream again too.
If you're doing a Q&A after this,
good Lord,
they're going to go to town.
That's going to be a long one.
Now,
I'm not watching that one. Just FYI.
Ever since you and I, the Q&A?
Not watching it.
Well, you'll get updated on it.
I won't. But I don't want to. I want to watch what they want to give me. I want to experience the rest. I don't want to go.
They plan around the Q&A though. They and Ziggy, they plan around the Q&A. Like, that's
it doesn't change anything for how I'm going to play the game though. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go into December 6th just doing my thing.
Well, sure, but that's also the exact same if you don't even see the reveal.
It's true. I mean? The reveal's just fun. The Q&A is just long.
Not the auto parts. It's true. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, the 21st, really awesome video. Really cool that they came out with that right after the apology. As far as in my mind, it was right after the apology letter or note, whatever. And like, to me, that's cool. Like, okay, yeah, we know we're good. Even if there's any issues, we got the video coming up 21st, 6th. That's our day. As Jerry Seinfeld would say when he's branding the cow to find out when that milk expiry date's going to be. That's your bloody day right there.
That's exactly what he says. I thought
word for word.
I really liked the video. I thought they did a great job showcasing some of the gameplay. And all I thought was, I really hope that this isn't lost on zooming. I hope that what they're making isn't. I understand the need for people and the desire. I want to smash a lot of enemies, and I don't want to feel like I'm slowed down, but I also really want to enjoy what they're doing. Yeah. I really want to enjoy and feel like there's I don't know, like a method to the fight. It looked really cool. It looked really, really cool.
If you click the link to watch GGG Live November 21st, you don't have to watch the video, but bring up the link and it has the embedded YouTube video on it.
Mm-hmm.
They're really pushing the mercenary, hey? It makes you feel like that's the only class they've done.
Watch.
Well, yeah.
Like the
no, it's not, but just the like those are the few teasers that we've seen the last while, of course, because it's that type of ballistic archetype really kind of blew their mind when they were doing in their minds, the programming and theory crafting for what the different ascendancies and classes are going to be like. I feel like that's like, with the exception of then the minion announcement and when we went to LA, outside of that, it's just been mercenary. And even the screenshot here on YouTube is the mercenary, but man, does it look Bloodborne, hey?
Oh, I didn't even think that, yeah.
It looks so Bloodborne.
We have to wrap this up relatively quick. Sorry, because I have to run. But one thing I did not know, and I mentioned to you after we recorded last week, or we were talking, I can't remember. But I didn't realize that they had already, that somehow people knew. I guess it was in some interview Jonathan gave or some article or something. I didn't realize that it was 3 acts, 6 classes, that was the planned release for the beta. For the early access.
Yeah. I was surprised to hear that throughout the week, because that's something that I every time we've talked, I always thought that we were both.
But we've talked more about, like, not, at least to me, it seemed like not knowing how many of the classes will we have access to and how much of the game. I knew that they weren't going to have the full game out, but I didn't realize that we're talking half of the acts and half of the characters. I didn't realize that.
I totally thought that I mentioned it, and maybe it was just very fluky in the way that we were wording things, where how you worded it and how I worded it made sense for both situations of how we were thinking the
it must have, because I thought you didn't realize either based on the way that we were talking. But I'm curious then, are those 6 flushed out classes with ascendancies? Like, I'm really curious what they're doing.
No, I don't even think they have ascendancies coming out. It's 8. Pretty sure it's 8. If we go on the website,
8 what?
Classes. But I don't think,
the thing I
don't
heard
think
was
they're
6
coming out with
classes,
ascendancies.
3 acts. And it was from an interview I want to say he did in Japan or something. It was something I read.
Oh, right. I haven't watched anything since
I don't remember where I read it, but
classes. Yeah, there's 8 on the website that are revealed.
Well, there might be 8 revealed, but what I had read was that there were going to be 6 playable at early access, and this was just one of the most recent interviews with Jonathan that I'd heard that.
If we're playing Assumption game, we know the warrior is going to work. You played the warrior. Ranger might not. Ranger was not available for us, but maybe. It'd be weird to not have a bow and arrow class, though.
There was a bow and arrow class.
Huntress was available.
There was one I was shooting a bow. I played it with you. What did I play with you? Yeah.
Then there's the Huntress. That's like the melee decks. The Sorcerer we saw way back in the day, right?
Which it'll be out. Same with the Witch.
If the Mercenary's not part of the
Mercenary
beta, they need a clean house. If the Mercenary's
that one's
not in there
for sure.
Yeah. The Monk was very playable when we played.
And then the Witch.
The Druid was their mercenary way back, like at the beginning of the year.
Oh, it's never been playable.
Well, I guess 18 months ago. The Druid was playable in some demos for some people.
No, because I remember people talking about wanting to play the Druid and it wasn't there. But in the one we were at or the one before that.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, no, sorry. I'm not talking like necessarily play tests, but like demos where people were invited to play 20 minutes and then ask questions.
I don't think they were there.
Okay. Well, maybe not. And then the Witch was
will be there for sure.
Necromancer. That's what that's translated as for now.
Yep. Whatever it is, it'll be fun to play. I just was surprised, and I'm also pretty comfortable saying that it will be a long early access.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Like for me, 3 acts when you're discovering stuff is a long time. And the replayability in even what GGG has and testing stuff out and knowing that you're going to get reset, to me, there's a lot of longevity that's going to be in the beta. Have you ever seen The Dragon Prince with your kids?
Probably.
It's a Netflix original show. Like it's
we probably have seen it.
Okay.
Oh wait, so, it's like a show, not a movie?
Yeah.
Right. No.
Oh, okay. Then have you seen, are you fine with The Princess and the Frog with all the voodoo?
Sure.
Okay. The witch looks like a human version of Claudia from The Dragon Prince. So any Dragon Prince watchers, Claudia.
Cool.
Unshowered Claudia, but whatever.
So does that mean, if I'm just looking, we don't have any more episodes until after this announcement? This is it.
Right. Yeah.
Huh. Cool.
Next week is the
next
day
week we'll be talking
all
about
reveal,
whatever they do.
And then there's going to be what's the family friendly term for saying like
splattering?
You knew exactly what I was trying to describe. So yeah, the 21st is the reveal. The day after is when Justin and I will record. And then, then it's just going to be a splattering of teasers until the beta.
Yep.
I assume.
I assume too.
But even if there's not, it's not like I expect it in terms of like I need it. I don't care if they don't say anything.
Going nuts.
But yeah,
then they'll finally get to put out that tweet. That tweet will actually be
now we've announced the big news. Right. I feel so bad for them, man. I feel so bad. Oh, but at least it's such a small mistake. You know what I mean?
Who cares? It's
not like screwing up accounts. But let's see. So we did hold true to our promise, though. Not promise. Our statement of our last Path of Exile 1 podcast was our last Path of Exile 1 podcast.
Yeah, we didn't play after that. Yeah.
Haven't touched it.
Nope.
And the only thing we've talked about is cross-platform and cross-play and merging and stuff and waypoints. Yeah. Man, I love those waypoints.
Well, that's exciting.
When you find one in the wild.
I'm excited that we're going to get to see that next week. That's going to be fun. Let's wrap this up then. Forever Exiled 267. I'm Justin AK Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Patrons will catch you in After Dark. Everybody else will see you next week after the grand announcement for 268. If you're looking for more information, find down below. We got a website, foreverexiled.com. We have the best Discord in the world. Pop in there and say hi. And Patreons, other way support the podcast. You'll find them just splattering everywhere. No, don't do the noise. Thanks for listening.
Love ya. Oh, and Aaron, you'll never guess what I'm going to load while I do chores today.